Hey friends, welcome to the video this week where I am going to be kind of vlogging a little. I may or may not do a roundup of everything I made at the very end of this. I'm not really sure. It just depends. Or this footage may never even be seen if I vlog this one time and then the rest of the week I just completely fail because, you know, life happens. Stuff happens. So I wanted to talk about my challenge I was going to make for myself this week. A little fun, random. It's, you know, I trying to take a week off from testing patterns and making and designing patterns for myself and for others and just do some fun things. But like also I needed something to help me decide what to do because I have so many patterns and it's just like, what am I going to do? So this week I am taking my little resin animals. I bought up these off of Amazon, which I can link them in my storefront down below. I actually bought 2 packs and then I went through and took out some of the duplicates. I didn't mind leaving a couple turtles and a couple chickens, and I can't remember, there was a couple other ones that I left in there. But I took out a lot of the duplicates or the things I knew I did not have a pattern of and probably wouldn't ever make. So just a few of things like that. But anyway, so I'm going to draw something out of here, and I did say the rules are I get to choose what pattern it is. If I pick a bunny, for instance, I get to choose if that bunny is mine, is a big one, is a small one, just kind of whatever I feel like I'm in the mood for. And the color of the actual piece in here, like if it's orange, doesn't mean I have to make it an orange. It's just the animal. The other thing I gave myself a little bit of leeway with is if I draw an animal that I really only have a massive pattern for, or I just made a bunch, or I really don't think I could sell it or make the pattern that I have, or just not in the mood for it, then maybe if I draw it, let's say I draw this giraffe and I don't want to make one, it's yellow. So maybe that means that I can then use the color yellow and make a different animal of my choosing that time. So that's like a wild card kind of thing. I may or may not do that depending on what I pick. So I just don't want to say that if I draw it, I have to do it, because I don't even like to do what I tell myself to do sometimes. So pretty independent in that way. So here I am. I'm going to draw my first thing out of here, and I'm just going to very annoyingly mix them up with my fingers and try not to feel anything, just to grab. Okay, you ready? Oh my gosh, it's a flamingo. Okay, I don't know if you can see it. Little bitty. Okay, I think I'm going to take this challenge on. I'm going to go through my patterns and decide what it is that I'm going to make. And I'm going to pull that back out of there. I don't know why I dropped it in there. I'm going to pull that out. Where'd it go? There it is. I'm going to pull that out and keep it in order so that I don't draw it again, and so that I will have it with the thing I ended up making. So I will see you guys when I am done making a flamingo. Or if I completely fail at vlogging, I'll see you at the end with it. You know, one or the other. Hey friends, it's Monday night. I'm coming to you with an update on the flamingo. So for those of you that did not get a good look at this guy, it is a flamingo, I promise. I hope my camera is picking that up. And I had one good-sized flamingo pattern, and here it is, partway done, by Darling Maple Creations, I believe. Yes, Darling Maple Designs. It's the little bitty flamingo, which obviously will be linked in the description below. So I think I'll be finishing that probably in the next 30 to 45 minutes, and then we'll draw another one. My son Henry says he wants to draw it, and so we'll see if I let him or not. He's gaming, so if I interrupt his gaming to do it, he may not want to do it after he told me last night he wanted to be the next draw. So anyway, I just wanted to give you an update that that's what I got done last night. I love it so far. I have never made this pattern either, so this is a new pattern to me. The only other flamingos I had were really small ones, so I just thought I'd show you some progress. And then at the very end of the video, I will show you every make completely done and the pricing and everything for each one. So I will catch you guys in a little bit when we do our draw for the next, I don't even know what I'm going to call this. What do I do draw? Maybe that's what it's called. The what do I do draw? And it was fun. I mean, it just kind of made a decision for me, and then the only decision I had to make was what pattern. So that was fun. So I will catch you guys in a little bit. This is Henry. He's gonna do the draw of the next draw. Do what I draw. So let's see what he draws out of here for the next animal.
Yay!
It's April. April's on the phone. Tell the vlog hi.
Hi.
What is it, Henry?
I don't know what that is.
Oh my gosh. It is...
A beaver. I should know this.
I don't know what that animal is, actually, either. Okay, just pick a different one. I think it's a seal, but it doesn't really look like a seal. Sorry. Okay.
Axolotl.
Axolotl.
Woo!
It's an
That'll be
axolotl. Here, put your hand behind it. Held it up a little bit.
My friend's on the headset, guys.
Okay. Looks like we're making an axolotl next. Oh, don't put it back in there.
Oh.
Hey friends, so I did my axolotl. I'm not going to show it to you, but I will give you a tiny sneak peek. Ready? There it is. Okay. I'm going to show everything at the end. I just did something small. I wasn't feeling in the mood to do a great big huge axolotl project, but that's kind of what this draw is all about, is really just using it for an idea, but then taking the idea and doing what I think is gonna still bring me joy, because I don't want it to burn me out. And honestly, like when Henry drew the first time, we weren't really sure what this was. If you can see it, I think it's a baby seal, which I don't know that I really have a seal pattern, and that doesn't really look like a seal, so I really am just gonna skip that. I took it out of the draw so that it wouldn't be in there. But I'm gonna mix it up. A little ASMR action. Draw something else. Oh my gosh, I'm so nervous. I have no idea what I'm gonna pull out of here. Okay. Oh, it's a snail, and it's pink. This is the third pink thing I have pulled out of that thing. Now, I didn't make the axolotl in pink, but it's funny because it's every single piece of resin I've pulled out of here so far has been pink, besides the seal that I didn't even know what it was. I'm gonna do a redraw, guys. I'm sorry, but I'm gonna put that back in there, and I'm not doing a snail right now, but I did put it back in there. Maybe another day. The only snail pattern I have is I have like garden hoe fruit snails, and I probably have like a little free one, but I've never been able to sell them. So, and I don't want to make something else that's pink because I already made a flamingo. So we're gonna move on and try to pick something that is not pink. Okay, it's green. It is a bird. You can see it. Okay, I'll have to look through all my patterns and see what I'm feeling. I don't know that I'll make something that looks just like that, but I've got little mini birds, I've got bigger birds, and I think I should be allowed to do any type of bird I want, right? Okay, I think that's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna go look through patterns and see if I can find something, and I will keep you guys up to date. Bye. Hey, so it's still Monday night, and I drew a bird, and I made a bird. Maybe not a traditional green bird like this, but it's a bird. A little sneak peek. There you go. Good. And I wanted to draw tonight and get ready to go to bed, but I wanted to go ahead and draw, and then that way tomorrow I can really think about whether or not I want to do a big project or a small project, because I did several smalls so far. So I'm gonna, well, I did a medium, I think, you know, like a small medium, and then I've done a pretty small and then a small. So maybe I'm ready for a medium or a large, depending on what I pick. So I'm gonna pull one out of the bucket, the basket, the bowl, whatever you want to call that thing that I found. And we're gonna see what it is and we're gonna think on it. So are we ready? Are we ready? Oh, I have no idea what this is in my hands because I could feel like the shape, you know, and I just... It's a scorpion. Okay, this is funny because Tara was over, Tara, my daughter, if you know who Tara, Old Soul Factory is my daughter, and she was looking through the animals and she's like, that is a freaky looking scorpion. And I'm like, yeah, I don't even know if I draw that, if I have one. And I don't. I don't have a scorpion. And I'd given myself a clause where I said I could skip the animal but do the color. But you know what? I'm feeling the animal choices. So I'm going to put the scorpion aside and I'm going to redraw. And I know that maybe that's just cheating, but the color brown right now doesn't really appeal to me, and then I have to make a decision about what it is and how I'm gonna make it brown, and it just seems like a lot, and I'd rather it just tell me what animal. So I'm gonna pick again. Okay, I got one in my hand. What is it? I haven't seen it. Oh my gosh, it's another bird. I do not want to make another bird. Guys, this is not going according to plan. Okay. Let me get to the bottom this time. Okay, I pulled one. Ooh, okay. Okay. It's a bee. You can see it. Okay, so let me think on this. I actually have a couple bee patterns that I have never made before that are small to medium-ish size that I have been thinking about making. I just bought one like a month and a half ago and I keep seeing it in my thing. It's probably what I'm gonna do. So I'm excited. I also have a Madeline Mako bee pattern I've never made. Okay, what to do. I'll have to look through my patterns and make a decision tomorrow when I get home from work. So thank you guys for coming along with me tonight. And for you, I'll see you in a couple seconds. For me, it'll be, I don't know, like 20 hours. So bye. Hey friends. So it is Tuesday night. Yes, it's Tuesday. Oh my gosh. So I did a thing, you know, you might see the haircut. Feels so good. I actually had short hair most of my life until about 5-6 years ago. I grew it out to the longest it'd been in like my whole life, except for when I was like 4. It was like down in my butt when I was 4. And anyway, so I trimmed it a little, and a year and a half-ish ago, and it grew back out, or maybe a year ago, and then I needed a change. So here it is. It's really not fixed and washed and all that yet, but anyway, I love it. So where'd we leave off? We left off with I drew a bee. Little bitty bee. And I picked out a pattern, so I'm going to get started on it. My hands really hurt all night last night and today. I have some pinched nerves in my neck, shoulders from looking down a lot. So I'm going to take my sweet time, try not to hurt myself, but I do go to the chiropractor tomorrow, which will be nice, and I've been doing some exercises to help relieve some of that pressure on the nerves, so in my neck. But anyway, so I just wanted to give you an update on where we are during this do what I draw, or whatever I'm going to call it, challenge. I'll check you guys later. Bye. Okay, hey friends, it's Tuesday night and I decided to do the new bee pattern I was talking about last night. I was gonna put it off, but I thought, you know, I'm gonna just take my time with this burnette, and I'm gonna use a really soft burnette and make this pattern because it's crochet your collection, right? And so I wanted to do something that was part of my collection already that I hadn't done yet. So I did that, and there's a little sneak peek, but it's time to draw another one. It is done. So it is late on Tuesday. So again, like last night, I'm going to draw and then I'm going to think on it and decide tomorrow, unless I just get something super horrible that I absolutely don't like. You know, then I can change my mind because I make the rules, right? Okay. It's a bunny. Okay. Oh my gosh, it's a bunny. I just, oh, I can't even get it to stand up. Bunny, bunny, bunny. I have a few ideas. So I'll have to think on this tonight. I take the bunny challenge, animal number 5, and hopefully we'll get to it tomorrow night. So I will see you guys later. Bye. Okay, hey friends, it's Wednesday night, and I left off last night with a bunny pull. So I had pulled out the bunny, and I made the bunny. I'm not going to show it to you because, you know, you're going to watch the end where I'm going to show you everything that I made for every pull that I had out of the draw. But I thought about it last night and today, and I thought I wanted it to be something fairly quick with Elise Voluto yarn, and I made use of something that I already had as well. So it was just like a good idea. So anyway, there's lots of animals left in here. Wow, so many. And some of them I don't even recognize. Like, I probably should have went through and been like, oh, hey, that's like, this is Hello Kitty. Like, I'm not going to make Hello Kitty, but oh well. Okay, anyway, let's just hope we pull something good. Ready? Ooh, it's a Triceratops. If I can get him on the camera. It's a little bitty Triceratops. Of course, it's pink. We've got 3 pink things now. I didn't make them all in pink, but it's just funny that had I kept the 3rd thing that I pulled, which I can't remember what it was, but it was pink, and that I would have had 3 pink things in a row. Anyway. Oh my gosh. Sorry. It's not even that late at night. I have not been sleeping very well. My neck is hurting. It hurt last week too, and I went to the chiropractor tonight before I came home from work, and I need to go put a heat pack on it. But anyway, a Triceratops. So I'm going to go rummage through my stuff and decide if I'm going to do something big or small, and what pattern I'm going to do. So I will let you guys know when I have an update. Bye. Hey friends, so the Triceratops is done, and I'm going to draw again before I go to bed and think on what I'm going to make. That was a fun pattern. I have now done 1, 2, 3 patterns from my collection so far. So I'm not just doing a fun little challenge, I'm also working through some of my Crochet Your Collection challenge stuff. So, okay, ready? We're going to see what is next, and hopefully I can recognize it. It is a little sheep, little sheepy sheep. I have the perfect idea. So, can't wait for this. I will see you guys tomorrow. Good night. Hey y'all, so it's Thursday night, and we left off with this lamb draw last night. And I took my lamb plan to work today, and I worked on it at lunch, and then I forgot to bring it home with me. So it is not finished. It's at work. I don't want to restart another lamb project. So I'm just going to resume tomorrow on that and pick another thing out of the bucket for now. There is tons of stuff still left in this bucket. All kinds of stuff. I mean, like, wow, there's so many varieties in here. You wouldn't think I would get a duplicate, but there are some duplicate animals in here. So if we do get a duplicate, just excuse me if I pass on it, okay? Oh, I'm just twirling around. I don't know, guys. Okay. It's a seal. I don't want to make a seal. I'm not doing it. Let's see. Okay. I'm still, I promise, I'm swirling and not picking. Okay. Let's see what this one is. It's a panda. Not making a panda, y'all. I don't know. If I just bring it out and it doesn't spark any kind of joy, then I am putting it back in there. Nope, a bird. Not doing a bird. And a wolf. Not doing a wolf either. Sorry. And this would be something I haven't done in a while. A dog. Not doing a dog. Oh my gosh, another dog. Koala. Okay, we're going to do the koala. Koala, koala. It won't be a purple one, but we'll do a koala. And we're going to take all these ones that we drew that we didn't use and put them in the extra bin so I don't draw them again. So I'm going to get to the koala. I think I might go live tonight just because I've got time and no plans. And so I might just, I don't know. I've debated. Do I just turn a show on? Do I go live? I haven't went live in a long time. Yeah, I don't think I will. I don't have it scheduled or anything either, so let me put these in here. Okay, that's all I have for tonight. I'm going to do the koala. So let's pick some colors and find a koala pattern, and we'll get to it. Okay, hey friends. So I ended up going live last night. Just a surprise, not scheduled, no warning, just went live. I had no idea if I'd have anybody that showed up or not, but I had a few people that stopped by. Thank you so much. 30 something at one point, I think, that came by just to chat, talk about my hair. And then Tara surprised everybody, including me, by stopping by my house on her way home from work and joining the live for a few minutes. So that was fun. But anyway, I drew a koala and I finished a koala. There it is. And so tomorrow I'll do the lamb. So I don't know if I'll draw again because I'm gonna finish the lamb tomorrow and I don't want to be like thinking about the next thing before I have that one done. So I'm just going to work on the lamb tomorrow and draw maybe one more time on Saturday and be done for the weekend. So I will catch you guys tomorrow. Tomorrow is Friday, so it's usually our go to Walmart, eat supper out night, and I usually get home a little later, so I have a little less time to crochet, but then I think I'm gonna be around most of the day Saturday. I think me and my daughter Casey might go run out and do a little bit of thrifting. I have this thrifting idea I want to do, and she loves to do that kind of thing, so I think we might do that Saturday. So anyway, that's all I have for tonight, and I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye. Good night. Hey, good evening, everyone. It is Friday night. It is go to Walmart, get groceries for the weeknight for me. So sometimes that's eating out, sometimes that's bringing food home. So I get a later start on my evening, and it's almost 10 o'clock here. So it's actually past 10 o'clock actually, which is pretty late for me. But not Friday. 10:30, 11 is usually my limit. I try to stay on my schedule for work. But anyway, not that you come here for that rambling. If you remember correctly, I drew a lamb the other day and I left it at work Oh my gosh. So I said I would finish it. I finished it. It's right there. That's its ear. So I finished the lamb. And then I was hit by inspiration today while I was on my break at work. And I had those colors with me and I worked on my next fancy pants pattern that I'm not going to show you yet either, and I didn't draw it or anything out of the thing. I just had it saved and I'm like, I need to try this, and I had kind of the colors with me for it, so I made the head while I was at lunch today. So I worked on that, and so I have that head, and oh my gosh, sorry. I have the head done and the legs, they're over here. I mean the arms. And tomorrow I will finish the body, and I think I will, I don't know if I'll make it solid or if I'll make it in a dress or overalls. I haven't decided. Maybe it's solid. Maybe I'll make that one solid. So, and then I may or may not, if I have time, pick another animal tomorrow. So if I don't pick one, I have 8. I did 8 this week. Plus this thing I finished, or I'm going to finish tomorrow, is 9. Plus I did a pattern test this week for April. So technically I finished 10 things this week. That's pretty good. Sorry. I also posted a mystery tester call today for my next fancy pants, which they don't know what they're getting into because I'm going to pick them all in the morning and send the patterns to them tomorrow. Well, we're going to pick them tomorrow afternoon, and I'm going to give them all their assignments, a mystery assignment of one of the animals and then one of the versions. And then Sunday, they'll get to see them on Saturday, like a day early. And then Sunday, I will show you what those new fancy pants animals are. It is a new fancy pants, that's for sure, and there is more than one, but they don't know what animal they're applying for, which is kind of fun. Nobody knows yet, and then they just get a random assignment. It'll be a little bit easier to pick testers that way too, and hopefully they enjoy what they get. So we'll see. So anyway, I'm gonna go. I'm wrapping up. I'm done crocheting for the night. My hands are tired. Oh my gosh, I'm done crocheting in here anyway for the night. I think I'm gonna go wind down in bed and work on a bedside project that I'm working on that's just real mindless, and listen to some YouTube or something, and that will be my evening. So anyway, I just wanted to check in because I hadn't checked in yet, and it's Friday, and I did finish my lamb, and I'm not going to draw anything yet because I do need to finish the fancy pants item that I'm working on to get that tester call and everything finished tomorrow and out to everybody. So I got to work on that tomorrow, and so I may or may not be back to draw anything. So I guess you'll know in just a minute whether or not I do anything else on Saturday, or if I just finished my my last fancy pants. And then I will film a wrap up of everything I made and every little thing I drew out of the bucket. So it has been fun. I really, really enjoyed it. So I will see you guys tomorrow. Good night. Bye. Hey, good morning. I am doing my Saturday morning safety eye painting today. I'm doing it a little different. I usually use my plain resin and a bunch of glitter. Today I'm going to try just these actual gel polishes that I bought that are pastels and see how that goes. But hopefully after that I'll have some pretty eyes to show you, and then I'll finish my last piece for my video tomorrow. So I think that's all I have this morning. So I'll see you in a little bit. Bye. Hey, so I'm almost done painting the eyes. I don't know how much I love the flatter look of the plain polish, but so I did about 4 or 5 sets that way, and then I started adding a glitter layer and then the flat behind it. So let me show you what So this one's a flat. I can get it to focus. It's just a flat blue. And then here is one where I put the glitter layer in front of it. So there's the glitter layer first. Anyway, I mean, they're usable for sure. I definitely like some plain eyes every once in a while because, you know, the plushie's either really busy or is just plain. So anyway, I'm gonna wrap this up and then finish the fancy pants that I'm working on, and I will check in with you guys later. Okay, friends, it's Saturday, late afternoon, evening. I'm having extra kids over, my kids, to eat some pizza tonight, but I think I'm going to draw one more out of the bucket. I finished my tester call stuff and got the patterns all out to everybody, and so I finished all of that and my safety eye painting, and so now I need one more thing to maybe start on and then finish later after the kids leave. So Henry is here and he is going to draw out of the bucket again, something exciting for the last bit for this week. He's looking at the ceiling. A bunny? I don't want to do a bunny. Okay, another one. I don't want to do something I've already done. A bird? I've already done a bird. Okay, try again. Ooh, it's like a lizard or a chameleon. Should I do that? See if you can see it. Okay, that'll be the last one then.
Shout out to Cozy Buckeye. Love for Cozy Buckeye.
Yes, we love April. Okay, I'll check in tomorrow with my final makes, and if I get this fit in tonight, you will see it in my roundup in the morning. Later. Hey friends, it is Sunday, and I am wrapping up my week of vlogging and letting the random bucket of resin animals pick what I make, kind of, unless I just decide not to. And I wanted to give you a roundup of everything I made this week, plus a few things that I did that were outside of this challenge. So first of all, let's, I pattern tested for April from the Cozy Buckeye. I know you guys are shocked, but I made her Ricky the raccoon this week, and it is released right now. If you're watching this on Sunday, it's still on sale today. Is the last day. But you can get this pattern on her Etsy shop. It is adorable. Oh, just got little fluffs. He's sitting in the fluff pile with all the other animals, and he's getting fluffs on him from all the other ones. But here he is. He's so cute. This is Elise Veluto yarn. I use a 5.5 millimeter for anything that is Elise Veluto. And these are 20 millimeter sinker eyes that I've painted. There are obviously lots of color changes in this face in this small amount of space here. Once you've done it once, and I feel like it really absorbed it, like I don't think it's gonna take you that much time to do a second one. But you know, if you don't, I don't tie off my color changes if they're real close to each other like these were. So like I just carried my yarn over, but make sure that it's not too tight. Obviously, because it'll pull the face in, but not so loose that, like, you know, these stitches will come out. So there's just kind of an art to that. It's not just, it's something I definitely got better at as I went along. But anyway, so adorable. Fast. You make the tail first. It's crocheted into the round. There's no sewing. Adorable Ricky the Market Raccoon from April the Cozy Buckeye. thank you again, April, for letting me test. She also helps me out with my stuff. So great, cute little pattern to add to my collection. So of little market animals from the Cozy Buckeye. So released right now. Go get your copy of that on sale if you're watching this on Sunday. And I plan to, all of the loaf market animals that April has, I put at 16. There's a cat, a pig, the raccoon, and a wolf fox combo. So all of them so far I have put at the $16 range in Burnett or Elise Valuto, both of those. Premier Basics, I've done them in all three. So, okay, so then this week I decided to take my resin animals, as you saw, and draw. And I vlogged that throughout the week after work when I was tired. And I gave myself lots of grace. I wanted the bucket to kind of make decisions for me, but also not force me to do something that I didn't really feel like doing. So when I picked an animal that I was not feeling, I literally just put it aside and I picked another one. And I felt less bad about that the longer the week went on, if you noticed. But it did inspire me to do lots of patterns. I think there's 4 out of this that I did 9 total from the bucket, and 4 of them were brand new from my collection. So Crochet Your Collection challenge is still going on, trying to get through making the patterns that I have bought but not made. And so there's no set amount you have to do. If you want to film a video or share them on Instagram, just go back in your collection and find a pattern that maybe you didn't do, which, if you're like me anyway. I have heard a few people say that, you know, they buy a pattern and they buy it with the intent to make it, and they make it like right away pretty much, and then you know, they move on. So they've made pretty much everything in their collection, which kudos to you if that is you. But I am not that person. I am the kind that goes and pattern binge buys and then stores them, and then when I feel inspired to do so, I usually then make them. So not the same. But anyway, I will go through everything I drew this week and show you the patterns and tell you who they're from. And let's get started. You guys were very patient watching the last half an hour of film and not being able to see everything that I made. So we're gonna go in order. First off with the little flamingo. And you kind of got a sneak peek of this one. It is Darling Maple Designs, and it is a no-sew flamingo. I think it's called Itty Bitty Flamingo or Little Bitty Flamingo. I bought this not that long ago because I had 2 markets in a row that somebody had asked for a flamingo and I didn't have any. And I had only made a little flamingo on a swing before, and I had tried this really tiny like claw machines flamingo that was like, there's color changes and it was so small, and it just like, it was a lot. And so I not made that one again. But this cute flamingo is, you make the wings, the nose, beak, whatever you want to call that, and the feet all ahead of time, and you crochet them into the round. Yes, this is crocheted into the round neat style. I've seen it before, but not super often. It's a neat concept. It has a neat shape to its face, really, like as far as it's not just round, it's kind of, you know, longer here, which I think lends well to a flamingo shape. The tail is done in the round as well. This hair I added after, it's not in the pattern I don't think, but I just basically did the same thing we did here, but I did some on the top just to add a little extra. These are eyes I painted. This is Elise Valuto, the 5.5mm hook again. This is Darling Maple Designs. All of these are on Etsy, because that's just where I buy all my patterns pretty much, so that they're all kind of in one place to download and put into my tablet. But they'll all be linked down in the description. So I'm gonna try not to say that 6,000 times because I'm saying it right now. Okay, so next draw, if you saw, was an axolotl, another pink one, but I don't have to do the color of the animal. I just have to do the animal. So I got out my Crochet Grove little axolotl pattern. This is an older pattern by Crochet Grove that also has a boba tee with it. Pretty fast. This is a loose velluto, no sewing, just surface crocheting this part. You do these gills in the round. Lace velluto, I think these are 14 millimeter eyes, and I charge 12 for these, so I have a little container of these, and I thought that'll be, if I do one of these, then I get to add it to, I don't know if I have any left. I probably have a few, and I'll get to add it to that collection. So Crochet Grove, next was an axolotl. So the next thing I drew was this green bird. And I thought on this one, because birds is such a huge range, I don't have to make it obviously the same color or even really the same style. And I thought, you know what, it has been a long time since I've made my own bird patterns. I have 3 bundles of sitting birds, 1.0, 2.0, and a 3.0. The very first bundle that I came out with only has 3 in it, and then the bundles after that have 4. And I went back and made something from the very first bundle, which, I mean, technically, is it a bird? I mean, I think so. I mean, it's got wings. But this is a Rowdy the rooster. He looks angry, doesn't he? The way I set his eyes and the way like I sunk them into his face, like I think they look like he's angry, which is just funny to me anyway. April's like, you ought to give him some angry eyebrows, but I didn't. I left him. But all knows, oh, you make the wings and the feet, the beak and the wattle all ahead of time. If you want to do the wattle, you don't have to. And then you crochet them all in and surface crochet this comb on the top. So cute. I hadn't made one in a long time, but they sell pretty well. I mean, it's a good alternative to just a regular chicken. And there's a lot of birds in this collection. So he'll be priced at 18. Sorry, the Flamingo, I'm going to do 22. The axolotl's 12. This one's 18. Adorable. So that was the third draw. The fourth draw was a bee. Oh my gosh, this one is so tiny to try to hold and show it. Like, I don't even know how I can show it, but hopefully maybe you can see that. But anyway, I had a new bee pattern that I had bought not that long ago either, and I hadn't made it, and I keep skipping over it. And then I opened it up, I don't know, a month ago. I probably got it a month and a half ago. I opened it up about a month ago, and I looked through it, and I'm like, oh, it's more rounds than I thought it was going to be. And it's also very unique in its construction, and so I set it aside and I didn't do it. And I'm like, this is the perfect opportunity. Even though my hands are hurting a little bit, I broke out my Burnette because I wanted it to be a fairly large size and for the amount of work that I knew it was going to be. And I broke out like a mustard color and Cinder, which is the mystical line. But this bee called Zuzu, the bee is by Dear Jackie Stitchery. I've never heard of this designer before. I need to see if this designer is on Instagram. But Zuzu is unique in the shape, and I'll show you Zuzu, and then we'll go from there. Okay, this is Zuzu. Her little bumblebee feet, her little stinger. See how she's shaped, kind of arched. Her wings on top. These eyes are by Nerdy Girl Crochets. They're part of her Shine On collection. Yep, the Shine On collection. The gold ones. So cute. 25 millimeter. Okay, so let's talk about this pattern a little bit, because this is a Crochet Your Collection pattern as well, and this is the first time I've ever made this pattern. But you start at the stinger. Classic bee shape for a while. I mean, you know, you alternate, you go to the black, and then all of a sudden you do slip stitch rounds instead of single crochet rounds, and then you're also doing some half double crochets. So by the time you do some slip stitches on this side but half double crochets on this side, that's what kind of makes the shape. So, or that is what makes the shape. I shouldn't say kind of, it is what makes the shape. So it's just a combination of, you know, slip stitches and then half double crochets, obviously these being shorter than these, that kind of allows it to arch like that. I will say it was a little harder. Slip stitches are a little harder to see and kind of keep track of your rounds. I mean, just because of the nature of a slip stitch, I feel like, and it's really hard to not get my slip stitches really tight. I have to be careful just to really pull up a good loop before I do my slip stitch, so that I don't end up with these little bitty tiny slip stitches I can't get back into, because these are designed for you to crochet back into in the next round, obviously. But all of the color changes are down here on the bottom, which I think is obviously great too, because then when you go back and put these legs on, they kind of hide all of those color changes that you did here in the middle. You do sew, she has you make these legs and sew them on. I was going to try to be smart and surface crochet these out, but the way that you surface crochet, I don't know, I could not get that. I did one and I just didn't like it. It was not facing the right direction. Like, I wanted it to face this way towards the front, you know, with the leg, the flat part kind of going out, and it just wouldn't. So I just went ahead and made all 6, which, I mean, these are super fast to make. And then I just tied them into, you know, I just pulled the tails down into it. I didn't actually sew them on. I pulled the tails down in, and then I tied those tails to the tails of, to each other, and then also to the tails of the one next to it, just to kind of secure it. So, I mean, they're on there really good. I mean, they're not going anywhere. But then the antenna, I did surface crochet the antenna. Sorry, this black shows all the little fuzzies that come through. And then you also tie on or sew on the wings. I would say that I sewed these on. I definitely sewed like around this way, went down, and then I even tacked them a little underneath so that the kind of the middle of them was tacked down, and they both kind of laid back in the same way. So cute. My daughter Casey came in and was like, oh my gosh, it's adorable. I love its like little legs. Like, I've never seen a bee like made with all the little legs on it like that. And she loved the shape, and she just got a kick out of it, which is awesome, because she doesn't get a kick out of a ton of stuff I do, but I thought that was cute. So, Zuzu the Bee by Dear Jackie Stitchery. So adorable. Would I make it again? I don't know. I think I'm going to take it to the market, and if it sells, if you know, if it, I want to put 26 on it. I mean, it's Bernat and it's pretty big size. I'm going to put 26 on it though, because of all of the pieces, and then the slip stitch arounds really kind of slow you down. And then you're obviously putting these on later, I'm going to see how it does. I may end up marking it back down to 22, because I would say the next time I made it, I could probably make it in a little over an hour and might be able to do 22 and still feel like I'm getting my money per hour out of it. But anyway, so cute. So adorable. Fun little make. So this was the second Crochet Your Collection randomness that I pulled out and tried. So after the bee came the bunny. And I thought on this one because I have my own bunny pattern. I have April's brand new bunny, which I had just made. And then I had several other bunnies that I have made and sold. And I could have remade that were bigger. And I'm like, I just could not decide. After making that bee, my hands hurt quite a bit already. And if you saw the clips, obviously you saw that I was struggling with a little bit of a nerve being pinched in my neck and stuff, and was going to the chiropractor this week. So I needed something small. And I thought, you know what? I have that floaty that I made last week or the week before, and I didn't put an animal in. So I made, and there's a bunny version of the Floaty Friends. So I made the Floaty Friend bunny and put the little float on it that I already had made. I know, I'm a genius. Not really. I was being lazy. But here she is. And I made it kind of in a really light tan. The worst part is that for whatever reason, despite using the same yarn, the same hook, different days, my tension is just different by the day. And I'm going to show you another example of that in a little bit. But this floaty is the same size I always make my floaties, and it's pretty big. I mean, it'll stay on kind of and catch on these bobbles and stay on, but it's pretty big. But unfortunately, it's kind of, I don't know if I can, I can't shake it off, but I mean, I had to shake it quite a bit, but it will stay. So I was kind of disappointed when I got him out and put the floaty on it, and the floaty was a little big. But this Bunny Floaty Friends pattern is by AQ Crochets. It's a cute little bundle of 4. There's a frog, a pig, a duck, and a bunny. And they're pretty fast, and the little floats are fast too. So I'm going to do 15 on this and add it to my Floaty Friends bin of animals. So that was fun. And so after the bunny, I don't know, this might be the favorite thing I made all week. I really, really liked it. Okay, after the bunny, I pulled a Triceratops, and I was super excited because I have several Triceratops patterns, some really big ones, and then I have little bitty ones. And I was like, I'm gonna do something kind of in between. And I had been working with pretty much Elise Voluto all week. Well, the rooster is Burnett, but I felt like I'd been working with Elise Voluto like all week. So I grabbed Premier Basics Chenille and a really pretty pastel variegated. It's just not their tie-dye pastel. I have both. Excuse me. I have both. Their tie-dye pastel, and I have their, which I can't pull it out of there right now because the animals are there. And then I have the variegated pastel. So this is the multi-variegated pastel from Premier Basics Chenille, and I use a 6mm hook with Premier Basics Chenille. And I have had this pattern for quite a while. I went on a binge where I was buying dinosaurs, trying to find the perfect dinosaur. And I bought this pattern. There's 2 sizes in it. There's a mini, and then there's a larger one, Tessa and Taylor. And it's by Coffee and Crochet. And I made the mini one. You do have to sew the head to the body, which is not hard for me at all to do. But otherwise, it's all no-sew. Unique way to attach all of the legs to the body and work your way up. So cute. Anyway, here it is. I love this thing. I don't know why, but like this thing is just giving me life this week. I just thought it was just adorable, and I ended up, this is the smaller version, and she does not have a like a horn on the smaller version necessarily, but I went ahead and went back and added it, unless I just missed it somewhere. But that's the only thing I really saw where I was like, I think it still needs the horn because it's a Triceratops, and then it needs the horn with the horns with, anyway. I'm not a dinosaur expert, obviously, but these are eyes I painted, 20mm sinkers. So cute. This frill around is done in the round. I love it. It's a really unique way to do it, and it's not hard at all. Just pay attention. And then this is done kind of in the round. You make a circle and crochet it out instead of sewing it on. So the only thing you really sew on is the head to the body. But it is so adorable. On top of the bee, this is another one my daughter commented on this week. And even Henry, he was like, oh my gosh, that's so adorable. I think I'm going to put 18 on this. I think I could make this in a little under an hour if I did it again. I'd had to pay really close attention because I'd never done the frill this way before. And you obviously make 4 legs, and then the way that there's 3 or 4 ways I feel like for people to put these 4 legs together in a pattern. And so I just really had to pay attention, and I actually went and watched the video she had, which was super helpful. And just to make sure that I had understood all the words, and which I had, but I just wanted to make sure. So I watched the video and did the little feet. So, I mean, it's going to seem like a lot of work for a pretty small outcome if you make this small one. But the thing is that like by the time you make the pieces, you're pretty much done. Like the pieces are the animal. Like there's animals out there where you make 10 pieces and then you have this huge body and all of these things to like crochet all of those pieces into or sew them onto. And in this case, the pieces like are the animal. I mean, like, you know, you make 4 legs, but by the time you make the 4 legs and you attach them and work up, like there's only a couple rounds and you're done. So, I mean, it's just like so fast. So anyway, I wish it was a little bit bigger, but I would like to make the bigger version just to see how much faster or bigger it is so that maybe I can have, maybe I'll make the bigger one in pink with the accents in this color and it'll be like a little mom and baby. We'll see. We'll see what this week brings or the next week or if I'll just forget about it altogether. But anyway, Coffee and Crochet, Tessa and Taylor, the Triceratops. So adorable. Okay, next was a lamb. You saw me pull a lamb out and then talk about how I had taken it to work and forgotten it. I had started it at work. I was so excited and then forgot it there. You guys also probably, if you follow me on Instagram, you saw my mystery animal tester call this week. So when I pulled a lamb, I was really excited because that was on my list to do in a fancy pants. So the mystery tester call is no longer going to be a mystery today if you are watching this. The testers were chosen yesterday and they got to see what they were yesterday. They got to see one of them because they're only in one of the groups. So if you are a tester of one of these animals, then now you're getting ready to see all 3 of them. But anyway, I have a lamb in my sitting animals pack called Lindy the Lamb, which Lindy is after my mom, Linda. And I wanted to do a lamb. Oh, throw my scissors. I wanted to do a lamb in the fancy pants too. And I just hadn't done it yet because pretty much the head was already done. But the lamb and the hippo from the sitting animals is probably the least sold pattern, so I just hadn't prioritized it. But this was a great chance to just go ahead and get it done. So here is, this one's going to be Brooklyn, which is after my niece, who actually shows goats and shows sheep at 4-H. So here is Brooklyn in overalls. I used 18mm eyes. That's all I had at work. I had 20s, but I did not have my tool. And I was so inspired. I wanted to get it done. So I used my 18s, which sit on top. They're like they're a flat back eye. So I think I would like her face a little better if I had put the 20mm sinkers, but either way, it's still cute. The black going to a tan, obviously. There's our cute little tail. Black shows all the little fuzzies. So adorable. So this is Brooklyn the lamb. This is one of the next fancy pants animals in the collection. This is just the overall version though, but if you buy Brooklyn the lamb, you'll get an overall dress and a solid version. So adorable. If you're familiar with my fancy pants patterns, the only thing that you normally would sew is the head to the body. The heads are made separate, ears crocheted into the head, and then and you will have to sew on this pocket if you decide to do the pocket. I think that's it. The dress is all no sew. You surface crochet the straps. So cute. This is Elise Voluto again, 5.5mm hook. Probably so many fuzzies on that. I'm going to be embarrassed when I go back to edit it. So that is mystery animal number 1. And then out of the bucket, I picked up a koala. And I noted that I would not make it purple. But, oh, you're not even seeing that. I wouldn't make it purple, but but I would make a koala. And little did you all know, I was actually working on a koala for the fancy pants when I pulled the koala out. So I was again excited to pull something out that I could do. You guys saw my koala. This was the one you guys saw last time out of weird colors because I was trying to get the head right and I decided to go ahead and finish it. So then I thought I need to make the final version and take the pictures that I need for the ear and that kind of thing. So I made the koala, and I incorporated the purple on this one by putting the koala in a dress. I made this head on the live. If you watched the live, I got to the end of the live and realized that I had not done all the rounds in the head. There was 3 rounds of single crochet at one point in here, and I had only done 1. And when I got done, I'm like, this head is super tiny. And I'm like, what is wrong with this head? And I realized I had done it. And I was talking about what I was going to do with this head now, because it had really nice, good eyes that I had painted in it. Well, I cut the back open, pulled it out, and I went all the way back and put those rounds back in. So I fixed it, and even though I really didn't want to, there's fuzzies, so many fuzzies, guys. But I fixed it, and that way I could use it and it really be the actual pattern. The koala is there's face shaping if you've done my fancy pants patterns on almost all of them. The lamb does not have any face shaping. And I think it's the horse maybe and the unicorn that don't have face shaping, but the donkey does. Or maybe, anyway, it's in the pattern. Some of them I debated adding and not adding because it looks fine without it, but in this particular case, there is face shaping. You go from like right on this side all the way over right here where the nose is to this side, and you pull it down. So you can kind of see like this definition here at the top of the nose. That is from a face shaping technique. And then also I used the tail off of the ear. I leave it on the outside this time, and then I tried to walk you through grabbing the stitches to cup the ears in and tie them to each other in the back. So I may or may not do a little video on that if it's too confusing for the testers. So here is Cammy the koala. Cammy is my first cousin. It's like my sister growing up. Trying to name all of my animals after family or someone special to us. So that was make number 8. 8. Okay. So that's mystery fancy pants number 2. Okay. And then the last draw that I did yesterday was this lizard chameleon style piece. That's just Henry having a sneezing fit. So I drew a lizard, chameleon, whatever, some kind of lizardy reptile type thing. And I had another Crochet Your Collection pattern that I had not made before. I had a couple that were lizards that I had a hard time deciding which one to do. But I broke out the Premier Basics chenille again. This one is tie-dye in the camo color. And this is Frilly the Lizard by Crochet with Haley. Never heard of this designer either. Just found it on Etsy. Bought it. Hadn't made it yet. This is all done in the round. There is no sewing. This is no sew. It is really unique the way that she does these, in my opinion. Like, again, I've seen other people do it that way, but I liked it. I really did. And it's just the perfect placement of the face, and these little bobbles above the ear or the eyes just bring it all together. And you make these arms and legs in the round by chaining out. The hardest part about this pattern is that when you get down here and she's wanting you to make several rows of 4 single crochets to try to finish it off. That's the worst part. I might have skipped a row or two because my hands were just like, nope, we're done. But I don't, not that you would have noticed. But anyway, this is Frilly the Lizard by Crochet with Haley. I would recommend this, and I would make this one again. It's fast, easy. I would maybe make it in a more solid color so you could see all of the really neat details of this pattern, because I think they kind of get lost with this variegated. But I thought with it being a lizard that maybe it being kind of this camo-y color would be cool. But anyway, so cute. It's fast. I think I'm going to put 15 on this. Okay. So that is all of the animals that I drew this week. Everything from a flamingo to a lizard to a bunny to a dinosaur. It was a fun week. And I loved that picking the animals out just said, you know, unless I just totally didn't want to do that animal, helped me make those decisions, because there's just some weeks where the decision is the hardest part. And so pulling one out of there and then just seeing, and I had no idea what was going to spark joy, you know. And the other thing I have for you guys is the third Fancy Pants mystery for this week. And I hope you love this one. I think it's funny because the people that were chosen to do this mystery animal were like, I did not see this coming. And I'm like, I know. I was like, kind of sprung this out of, I don't know. Anyway, it was just something that I had the pattern. When I get some inspiration for something, sometimes I go and actually write it all out the way I think in my head the math works. And then I actually go do it from the pattern I wrote. And sometimes I just get started and I write the pattern as I go. And with most of the Fancy Pants, I have pretty much wrote the head ahead of time because their bodies are mostly the same. And so I wrote the head ahead of time and then will then just alter the Canva pattern as I work if I find that, you know, something doesn't work out. So this is Jimmy. Jimmy is my father-in-law. He has passed away. My husband's father, his name was Jimmy. Jimmy the Sloth. He is a little different than the other Fancy Pants because he has long, rounded sloth arms instead of the third back loop arms of all the other ones. So this is the koala arms. These are the normal arms of all the other Fancy Pants. And instead I made his arms long and rounded. And then if you want, you can embroider on claws or toes. Make a 2-toed or a 3-toed sloth. This one is 3. And again, the only thing that you sew is the head to the body. Everything else is done in the round. So I made this one. This is probably the most, with all the color changes in the face, this is probably one of the most complex ones so far for the head. Just because, you know, you are color changing and going back and forth just to get this face patch correctly. I did write up an option for a 3-color head, and I'll show it to you in just a minute because I made it too. But where the patches are darker, this is the lightest, and then it changes, and the whole back of the head is a different color. And it's just so cute. There is a tiny bit of face shaping here that you really don't have to do, but it's right here. You can see it. And it's just to kind of pull the head and have a little shape to it there. That's kind of what it is. So that's not just so rounded. It just gives it a little bit of a shape. But anyway, this is Jimmy in overalls with the bandana. The bandana and the scarf, and there's a bow all in the pattern included. And then on my Instagram is a flower that a tester made up for us and shared for free on Instagram. Okay, so here is Jimmy in the tricolor option with the lighter, the darker, and then the medium color being the rest of his head. And here he is wearing a bow tie. This is sophisticated Jimmy. like him in just solid. The other animals, I really prefer them in the clothes because I don't know. But he, for whatever reason, and maybe it's because he's blue and not just brown, but I really liked him in the solid, especially with the little bow tie on. But this is what I was telling you earlier about how you can have the same tension or the same yarn, the same hook, and a different day. These are the exact same yarn and hook, different day. You see the difference? Oh my gosh, it's crazy, the difference in these guys. This is obviously my tension was just a little more tight this day and a little looser this day. Exact same pattern. Actually, there is one more round in this head. I added a round of single crochet here, but from the front you can tell that these heads are a different size altogether, but they're really not. It's the same amount of stitches around. It's just crazy how much shorter. He's a little shorter. Craziness. But yes, this is Jimmy the Sloth. So testers have Jimmy working on Jimmy this week, and the koala and the lamb. So this is the collection for the mystery tester call. The lamb, the koala, and the sloth. So adorable, so exciting. Hope you guys are still enjoying the fancy pants patterns. I'm having so much fun, and I still have 10 plus probably animals that I have started the patterns for them in Canva. I haven't made them yet, but I was going to take a break this week and not do, which I didn't have a tester call this week, but I was going to take a break and not even work on the fancy pants and just do the randomness until I drew out the lamb. And then I was like, oh, I'm going to do the lamb. And then I was like, and I drew the koala, and I was like, I can take this opportunity to make the koala again and finalize that pattern. And then I'm like, well, heck, if I just finish the sloth, which I was super inspired to do, then I would have 3 again, and I can go ahead and do a tester call. So anyway, it just kind of fell into place. So the testers should be done by Friday, and then I will release next weekend for all 3 of those again. So I think that is all I have for you guys this week. A longer video than normal just because of all the little vlog clips, but hopefully you enjoyed the length this week and enjoyed all of the animals that I picked out of the bucket. I will definitely do that again sometime. I don't know that I'll do it this week, but I'll definitely do it again. And weeks I'm having a struggle figuring out what I want to make, it might be a good idea to just draw out of the bucket. If I don't know what I'm going to do that night, I'll just draw one out and be like, oh, okay, we're doing whatever this is. So thank you guys again for being here. Also, if you haven't noticed, if you are on YouTube communities, I did open up my community to viewers. So my community, where I used to just kind of post some announcements, is now where viewers can post on it. So if you guys have things to share regarding maybe a pattern that you made that I featured, one of my patterns, a question, anything like that, keep it respectful and for the most part about crochet, right? But the community is now where you guys can post on it. So feel free to talk there, post there, and I will try to also interact in that way with you guys. So just to help build more of the community. So fun. So that's all I have for you guys this week. I don't have any huge plans this week, besides just making more animals and doing the tester, finishing the patterns with the testers this week, and that's it. So I appreciate you guys being here. Thank you guys for sticking out this long video, for coming back every week, or if you are new here, thank you for stopping here. I appreciate everybody being here. Everything is linked down in the description below. Leave a comment, guys. I love to talk to you guys in the comments as well. You'll also catch me a lot on Instagram if you need something. So have a great week, and happy crocheting. We'll talk to you later, guys. Bye.